Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Today we are going to be covering a head-to-head battle between, well, let's call them stepchildren. We are going to be covering the Ryobi HP impact driver versus the Ridgid brushless impact driver. Today on Tinker with Tools. Alright, so as I mentioned, we're going to be going head-to-head today between two step siblings, both from TTI. We've got the Friendly Homeowner DIY and Ryobi, the one that has been around for years, still uses the same battery platform that it picked up nearly 20 years ago. But recently they've been trying to push into the more prosumer lineup with some of their HP tools, trying to take on, more market and trying to conquer that. Well, in that, they're going head-to-head with the orange of Ridgid. Now Ridgid has been around for quite a while, well known for their lifetime service agreement, but recently they decided to start downsizing their tools a little bit, going from very big, very powerful on paper to still fairly powerful, but a lot smaller, more compact. I previously owned Ridgid tools, and that was one of my complaints, is compared to some of the competition, they were just a lot larger and less refined, in my opinion, than what they are. So we're going to test it out today, and we're going to see if these two are actually sporting more in common than what we think, or if there really is some separation. Now, in full disclosure, I do have a 4 amp hour high output high HP battery from Ryobi coming. It's going to be here later. So for today, we're actually just going to be testing the Ridgid with the 2 amp hour max output and the Ryobi with the 2 amp hour HP battery. We will then repost some times later on using the 4 amp hour batteries and obviously see if we can get some significant improvement or if you're better sticking off with the lighter battery. So let's get into these tests today, run them through the same series of tests that we did on the Bosch last video, and let's see where they stack up compared to that Bosch tool that we already saw the times for. We're going to do alternating tests, first with the Ryobi, then with the Ridgid, and we're just going to go through and complete each test. So once again we're using the 2 amp hour HP battery from Ryobi, and this is the variable speed trigger only, so there's no speeds to put it in. It is just that. Once again, it does have the same specs on paper. All right, ready, set, go. Now for the Ridgid, we are running max output. We are in speed 3. Battery is on full. Once again, it's the 2 amp hour max output for the Ridgid. Ready, set, go. Early impressions. There is a speed difference for that Ridgid. Okay, Ryobi now going with 3.5 inch deck screws. Ready, set, go. And now we're going to go with the Ridgid. 3.5 inch deck screws, speed 3 still. If there's one thing I can't forgive, it's that both of these have the stupid projectile collet that launches your bit when you eject it. That is unnecessary. There is no world when I would prefer to have that happen when I eject a bit. Quick insert, good job. Quick eject, propulsion eject, no thank you. 2 3-inch by 1/4 SPAC screws. On 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Ryobi does appear to be slowing down just a little bit. Earlier this week when I shot that Bosch video, I really wondered if that Bosch was going to be the slowest of the top of the line impact drivers we were going to talk about. And technically I get this Ryobi is not their top of the line. They do have the 3-speed, but when it comes to power, I think that's about all they're going to give you. And so now I'm beginning to wonder, am I going to have something slower here Although that one is a little bit lighter, I feel like, than the Bosch. Okay, Ridgid Speed 3, 2 amp hour battery. Ready, set, go. All right, for how similar these tools are, they have definitely done something a little more with the Ridgid. They've let it loose a little bit more. All right, now we're going with the 5-inch. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. All right, definitely feeling like the Ridgid's gonna take this one now. Ready, set, go. That little blip of time there in the middle, I'll make sure to cut that out where I slipped off. Let's see what it can do with the 6-inch. 1, 2, 3, go. We are now on to the Timberlok and structural bolt or lag bolt portion of this. All right, so a 5-inch by quarter. In the last video with the Bosch video, I incorrectly stated this was a 6-inch. It is the same screw, it's a 5-inch. So the times will be comparable. I'll go ahead and add a little note in the comments about that on the Bosch video. All right, 1, 2, 3, go. I actually felt like that was almost stronger than the screws. Now for the Ridgid, Speed 3, 1, 2, 3, go. The Ridgid's just like anxious to drive those further. All right, so for the Ryobi first, we're gonna be doing the 6-inch Timberlok. 1, 2, 3, go. Six-inch. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, no problem. Ready, set, go. The nose cone has heated up just a little bit. All right, and now the 8-inch for the Ridgid. All right, so both of them have been able to successfully do the driving task. The Ryobi is down to 3 bars. The Ridgid also is at 3 bars. All right, so now we're gonna do the Ryobi with the 1/2-inch twist bit, just going into some simple pine, a 2x4, and we're gonna do 2 holes. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Okay, now we're gonna go with the Ridgid, doing the same test. Definitely quicker on the Ridgid. The Ridgid is actually like getting warm to the touch. The Ryobi, you can feel heat, but it's a little bit cooler still. All right, so 3/4 inch Bosch Daredevil self-feeding spade bit. And 3, 2, 1. Three-quarter inch self-feeding spade bit. Okay. All right, so now the 1-inch. 3, 2, 1, go. Went out of order that time. So now we're gonna go with the Ryobi 1-inch. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, let the torture continue. Ridgid 1-inch Irwin speed bore. Did not want to break through there at the end. And the final test for the Ryobi, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, testing the temperature on the Ryobi, 99.1 is the max. Oh, we got 101.8, so 101. Now the Ridgid did its whole, the longest to go, but this one, I am getting 109.9, 105 on the back. So yeah, 100, the highest I've gotten, I don't know where that was. Oh, 113.1. Doing the same test, this one is getting about 10 degrees warmer. Okay, Future Taylor coming back to you. After recording the conclusion and editing it that I initially had, I've decided I want to come back and kind of say what I meant to say a little bit differently. After filming, I quickly did a conclusion, and in that conclusion I said I was pretty certain Ridgid won. It felt like the stronger impact, and that is true. From those results you can obviously see that it is a faster impact, 21% faster than the Ryobi, even though the specs are fairly close together, just 100 inch-pounds of torque separating their two claims there. So when it comes down to it, on paper they seem very close, but in practice the Ridgid is obviously a lot further apart. Now it is a little more compact, and I think that covers some of that extra heat issues that I was seeing. Where that shakes out long term, I don't know, but you do have the lifetime service agreement over here with Ridgid. Ryobi has a lot going for it. Their HP brand of tools, or the HP line of tools, is competitive with higher brands, and I do think when it comes to what they are offering you a more competitive prosumer line of tool in those HP versus just your entry-level DIY, barely a step ahead of Harbor Freight almost. And that's the stigma that I feel like Ryobi carried around for a lot of years. This is not that same Ryobi. If you showed up with a Ryobi tool, I am confident you'd be able to get the job done, and you'd be able to get done what you need to do either around the house or doing those things. Is it a contractor tool? Probably not, but could it do the job in a pinch? Yeah, I think it could. It just isn't going to be as refined, or perhaps maybe not last as long, but you never know. It just kind of depends on how you're using it. It'll be interesting to see how the performance changes when we get some bigger batteries on hand. But I do think for pure speed and performance, if you're coming down to these two as your decision, go with the Ridgid. If you simply want access to the largest line of tools that any of the entry-level tool companies have, you're definitely going to want to be picking up that Ryobi. And I don't think you're going to be unhappy with either answer. Hopefully this head-to-head has been helpful. We do have that Bosch video, like I said. If you want to click on that, we can get you set up with that Bosch video. And we have some other head-to-heads. We did a Milwaukee and a DeWalt drill head-to-head a couple of weeks ago as well. So check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching this video. If you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. We've got more content coming, and I'm excited to show you what we've got coming up with the channel as we continue to develop it and take it where it's going to go. If you don't mind, hit that like button if you enjoyed yourself, hit the dislike button if you didn't like it, and we'll catch you next time on Tinker with Tools.